Hey guys, it's Guitar King here, and I figured I'd use the microphone to make it a little easier for you guys to hear me for this one. Uh, so, 3 weeks ago, it was supposed to be only a 1 week span, but I extended it to 3 weeks. Um, I had posted something on the channel asking you guys to ask me serious questions. You know, the questions you might have about me specifically, my guitar playing, my autism, anything. So, some of you have answered, and most of them are my family and friends, but so I did throw in a little extra, you know, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So, I put them all down here. Didn't think looking at my laptop and having that light shine on was the best idea. So that's why we are doing it this way. So let's start. First question is from at Angela Flintstone, who's my mom. She asks, "What do you think your autism affects? How do you think your autism affects your musical interests?" I don't know. And I've had 3 weeks to think about this stuff, so. Um, I think I'll put it like this. When I go on to YouTube, whatever, sometimes I'll just, for no reason at all, I'll just go back to the nostalgia days and I'll go look at the music that I liked as a kid. One of the songs that I still listen to this day. REM, the band called REM made a song called Shiny Happy People, which song wise is like one of my all time favorites. But I don't know if you guys remember a little TV show, a little kid show called Sesame Street, where they remade the song and called it Very Happy Monsters. That still brings me the same, if I listen to it today, it still would bring me the same kind of joy and the same kind of good feelings that I've felt as a kid watching that 10 times. I'm not joking, 10 times each day. Each day, the the TV would play, and then I'm literally not joking. We would have some of the presets for cable. We'd have some of the presets episodes for on demand. Well, one of those episodes was called Let's Play, and the first time watching it, I found out about the song. So my mom would try to play the episode, and then each time we watch it, which is like every day, we would put it on repeat like 10 times. And my mom would do that because she knew that it made me feel good, with some of my special circumstances. So she would say, okay, we'll go one more time, then we'll have to just do the rest of the show. Okay. But then the next day, over and over, it just kept going on. So that's it. Really, I guess my autism makes me think differently about music. And really takes me back to the old days. I'm 18 years old, and the old days was like what 15 years ago. So, but anyways, that was a good question. I saw that and I'm like, we're starting off good. So thanks, mom. Love ya. Okay, next one is from at Terra Shrapnel, which is my good friend, partner in crime for hopefully the Renegades band, Noah. He asks, What's your favorite kind of sound for your guitars? In parentheses, he writes, like, is there any style slash sound you prefer over others? Let me grab my guitar just for a second, because I think showing what I mean when I answer this is gonna be a little easier. So just give me a second. I'm trying to find out what guitar I want to use. I think I don't know. If you guys, if you guys just give me 1 second. Trust me, this will all make sense in the end. And I hope that you'll be able to understand a little bit better what I mean. So, I didn't know what other guitar to use, so I'm using my Slash one. So, let me zoom out a little bit. I can't zoom out. Great. So I guess I would say it depends on what I'm playing, what I'm going for. When it comes to, say, Slash, I like it more beefy and I like more distortion. So it would also depend on, for Slash, I have to change my amp setting. For Slash, I have a very specific amp setting that I use, so, which you all have seen before. So, for Slash, I want that beefy humbucker Slash sound. But say if I'm playing a clean bluesy sound, I wouldn't want that much distortion. So if I dial back the amp, I can now play more bluesy licks. So something like that. And then if I want to go metal, if I want to go heavy metal, I would want more metal tones. So that's why you see something I haven't brought to the show before is the Boss Metal Zone pedal, which is super, in my opinion, super underrated. It's good for people who don't want to go necessarily all the way to the top death metal kind of deal, but it is good for those players that want to go kind of heavy metal and be able to play those Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, Pantera licks and riffs and solos and stuff. And it works great for, say, for Stillborn by Black Label Society, which has one of my favorite guitar players, Zach Wild. It gives a more metally tone. I'll do the solo for you, why not? It also helps when you have a guitar that's like priced like $1,000 like this one. But I hope that answers your question. And I'll answer it like this too. I'll go on this side of it also. For Guitar Center, in the Guitar Center days when you can be able to go in and play a bunch of guitars. Never done that before, but I hope to next time. You gotta think about what it is that you're there for, what you want to try to achieve at that point in time. Because there's some days where, I want to go out Slash and get a Slash signature guitar. So you gotta think, okay, what kind of tone or sound or style would I want for that? However, if you're going Tom Morello, which, let me grab that guitar real quick. Again, easier to show if, I'm playing it, that's just my own opinion anyway. I could be wrong, but it sounds like it's getting the job done. For Morello, you'd want something like the Strat here. Oh, by the way, did I mention Killswitch? I got that added by a professional luthier his name is Jacob, and he owns the shop called, what is it, Fretboard Rehab LLC. It's in Rochester, New Hampshire. If you need a guitar repair, a guitar built for you, something installed, like the Killswitch, then he'll do it for you at a reasonably good price too. So in an area needs something, make sure to check him out. Remember, Fretboard Rehab LLC in Rochester, New Hampshire. But for something like Tom Morello, you'd want a good Tom Morello tone. And I always request a Stratocaster. But if you're doing drop D stuff for Tom Morello, I recommend the Telecaster. That's what he uses, and that's what I use, and it sounds great. But for standard tuning stuff, even some drop D stuff, go with a Strat-like guitar that has a single coil, because it just sounds fantastic. And just a little demonstration of this toggle switch, this tilt switch. Up, the signal is off. Down, the signal is on. So if you go in between the two, it's literally a kill switch. So just to demonstrate, great for stuff like Tom Morello scratching. So, I didn't say there wasn't gonna be guitar playing in this video, and this, trust me, this is gonna be a long video. But I hope I answered your question, though. I really do. So, and that's a good question too. So let me put this guitar on my bed. I don't think it can fit on my bed. I already got 3 on here, but we'll make it fit. I can go there for now. Alright. So, next question is from @Ronella5624, who is my grandma, my mom's mom. And she asks, out of all the guitar players on earth, who would be your most favorite? I can give you 2. I can't give you 1. I can give you 2. Because the 2 guys that I'm thinking of are both tied. They're both tied. So, number 1 would be, oh, I gotta shut the hip light off. My bad. But, out of the 2 that I'm thinking of, which is Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine and Slash from Guns N' Roses. Out of the 2, however, my man, Tom, because he does stuff that Slash doesn't do, and as great of a guitar player as Slash is, and I'm honored to have that Slash signature guitar. I'm honored to have this Guns N' Roses poster and this little Slash thingy right there. Tom does stuff on the guitar like nobody else does. He's the guitar DJ, so he'll do that scratching stuff. He'll do basically something accidental will happen. Instead of going by like, what was that? He'll go, how do I do that again? So that's just one of the main reasons why I love Tom. But Slash has this bluesy hard rock tone, which I was kind of glad he made this new Black Blues album, because I keep telling people he's got a real good bluesy sound. Everybody's like, no, he doesn't. He's mainly for hard rock and roll. This showcases what I've been telling you guys. He has a very good bluesy tone in his hard rock style. Plus, the top hat says it all. So, but anyway, so thanks, Grandma. I love ya. That's a good question. And that's a question. That's an easy question, but it's a good question. It's a serious question because that's what I'm most passionate about when I play guitar. So, all right. Now, this one's from @RichardJalbert-J6U, which is actually my granny doing it under her brother's name. I'm not sure why that is. I don't think she knows either. But that's my dad's mom. And she asks, how did you learn to play guitar? And how did you know what strings to do without reading the notes? Then she goes on to say, I can see that autism doesn't stop you on learning new things to do. I tried for it not to be. I really tried. But that's good. Those are 2 good questions. So my dad, this will go back to when I first noticed that guitar. My dad, I saw in the closet, he pulled out what was big, this is what I saw at the time, this big piece of, I don't know what it was, I assumed it was wood, and this long thing above it, attached to it, with these 6 string looking things, and what it really was it was a Washburn brand acoustic guitar that he had sitting in the closet. And I had seen that sitting on the couch one day, and my mom was there too. This was just like a very casual thing. You just pull it out when trying to clean something. And I said, "What is that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's an acoustic guitar." I'm like, "What do you do with it?" He says, "You play music with it." So I said, "Can I hold it and see how it feels?" He's like, "Yes, but be very careful with this. Because I gotta tell you, not kidding, I was 1 year old when this was happening." So he puts it in my hand and he goes, "Try plucking these strings." These strings felt so hard. It hurt my fingers, but I got used to it very quickly. It's the steel. I got used to the steel before I did the nylon strings, so. But I have played nylon strings before. In fact, I have a ukulele, and those usually have nylon strings. They always do. So, but when, you know, when I started plucking the strings, I kind of enjoyed doing it. So it just built up from there. I started learning on my own how to pick up the guitar correctly, learning on my own how to tune it, learning on my own, which what strings and what notes to play by just listening to a song. That's how I learn all the songs. I just listen to them and try to match it exactly to that, or if not, get the best that I can out of it. But and then that's also how I learned what strings to do. I just listen to it and then just try to match it to how it's supposed to be, or like I said, well, close to it. So, but that's a really good question, because how many people have asked, how the beginning of it. So, but yeah, thanks Remy for the question. I love ya. And let's see who we have next. We have at Sharon Hardy 5479, who's my Aunt Sharon. It's my Granny's sister, and she wrote the whole long thing. So bear with me. She asks, "What are your plans with playing your guitar? Are you going to get in a band? What level are you taking your playing the guitar at?" Then she goes on to say, "You should try and play with one of the best musical artists that you adore and learn more from. You're doing excellent with what you have learned so far. You can go a lot further with this. You have excellent talent, and I'm proud of how far you came on this lesson you learned on your own. Keep up the great work. Love you, your great auntie." So, I gotta start from that beginning more. What are your plans with playing your guitar? First of all, keeping this channel going. But that was my first thing. I always thought for a long time, if I had my own camera and if I had my own camera stand, or if I had my own space to do it, because I was living in like a crap shack in uh, Newmarket, New Hampshire. It was probably the whole thing was probably almost as big as my bedroom, a little bigger than my bedroom. I think two of my bedrooms together makes up that entire apartment that we were living in for a little over 8 years. So definitely glad to move out of there. And when I did, I'm like, okay, I want a guitar room and everything. I want to be able to have my own guitar room, put all my guitars in there, all my stuff in there, that it wouldn't bother anybody, and keep my bedroom separate. Well, that did not happen. And I don't think it'll happen until I move out. But, um, however, um, are you going to get in a band? Well, about that, I am planning on doing a Renegades band, which is a Rage Against the Machine cover band, and there's been a little tweaks and stuff that I have to uh, fix to get it going. I've been trying to get this going for a little over a year now, but I have it with all high school students. I mean, one of the drummer and the bassist both graduated the same year I did, and we were both from school, so and they have to learn. They're gonna have to learn all these songs because my bassist doesn't really play bass, but she's touched one and has tried it before, and she's willing to learn how to do it. It's super simple. I know how to. I can even teach her. I'm not a bass player. I can teach her, but and my drummer does a lot of jazz stuff, but he's able to switch to that kind of the hard rock kind of deal. And but Noah is supposed to be the Zach De La Rota band, and I've heard him before, and he sounds incredible. But I know he's graduating 25, so this year, and he's gonna be um, trying to get to college, so it's gonna be a little harder. But I think with the right amount of time and the right amount of brain power, we can make this work. So that's what I'm planning on doing right now is that band. Um, what level are you taking your playing the guitar at? So here's the thing. There's never in my eyes when it comes to the guitar, or pretty much anything, but most of the guitar, there's never level perfect because there's always room for improvement. And if you just say, well, I'm good enough, I'm never gonna practice it, I'm never gonna get better, or try to be, then you're not gonna be as good as what you really want to be. You're gonna be stuck doing what you've been doing, which might be good for you, but if you're like, well, I wanna play really fast Metallica solos, but you can only do up to Ace Young stuff, which is simple but good. But if you want to play that fast stuff and you can't, but you don't want to bother to practice it or practice getting yourself to that point, what's the point, you know? So always improve. That I'm always trying to improve my skills with the guitar. I'm just trying to keep it going. I'm not trying to take it to a specific level. I'm just trying to keep getting better and better, if that makes sense. So, but as far as when she says you should try and play with one of the best musical artists that you adore and learn more from, I wish I could. You know, there's a couple of guitar players I could think of. Tom Morello, because that would be an absolute dream. Slash, because that would be an absolute dream. Angus Young, because he's had so much experience with this. He's been around since the 70s. And so has Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. And I think those two would be great people to meet because they've had so much experience and they're in incredible bands. AC/DC and Led Zeppelin, two of the best classic rock and roll bands I can think of. No, there's three. Aerosmith, Joe Perry and Brad Whitford. Joe Perry is one of the best 70s lead guitar players that I can ever think of. But Brad Whitford, I've just been discovering Brad Whitford more and more and trying to focus on the two instead of just Joe Perry. And they've been super incredible. Just like AC/DC's Angus Young and Malcolm Young. You can't have one without the other. So, Joe Bonamassa, I saw at a concert actually. It was my first concert ever, and right now my only, but I hope not my last. My dad took him to see. My dad took me to see him for a graduation gift, and he had always wanted to see him beforehand, so this was a treat for him as well. His thought process on the blues and the blues guitar playing, but he's able to marry it with a little bit of classic rock and roll, a little bit of different genres. I think it'd be really cool to learn from him, you know, kind of what makes a blues guitarist really good, you know. Um, Metallica, some, well, let's still heavy metal now. Metallica, um, James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett, their unity and their, I can't even describe it. Their harmony is just what makes it one of the best metal bands ever. And I just don't like super heavy. Like you can't. Sometimes they go real heavy, and like metal bands go real heavy. You can't even hear what they're playing. I can't do that because I want to be able to hear what notes are being played. That way I can replicate it. So that's why I like Metallica. Kirk Hammett is one of my favorite metal guitar players, and so is Zakk Wylde from who played with Ozzy Osbourne with his band Black Label Society, his own uh, Zach Sabbath, which is supposed to be his own Black Sabbath thing, and then can't forget now Pantera, which was with Dimebag Darrell, but he since has passed. God rest his soul. Dimebag is one of the best early metal guitar players, and then Zakk Wylde. Zach, I've always loved his guitar playing, but I really started noticing him by his guitar. The one with the bullseye on it. It's white. It's called the Holy Grail. It's a Gibson Les Paul, white with a black bullseye. For those of you who do not know. And I just love that guitar so much. But I one day thought to myself, okay, I really want to start researching Zakk Wylde's guitar playing, Zakk Wylde himself, rather than just his guitar, and start studying him. And he just is as good as Tony Iommi and Randy Rhoads are, and no disrespect to them, they're two of the best. I mean, Zach beats them both, in my opinion. He takes what Tony Iommi did, which was create heavy metal, to a whole nother level, and is inspired by Randy Rhoads, who has also since passed away, God rest his soul. So that's one of the reasons why why I really like Zakk Wylde. So, and thank you for the kind comments, Sharon, by the way. And yes, I love you too. So, next question is from at Picohertz, or Picohertz, I don't know how to pronounce that, 129, which is Noah's stepdad, Pete, who I used to work with at Tractor Supply. And he asks, my serious question is about Metallica. Have you explored the works of Metallica? 1986's Master of Puppets album is one of their most critically acclaimed works. However, they had two prior albums, and 1984's Ride the Lightning is an album I prefer to it. If you have listened to both works, which album is more difficult than the other to recreate? Well, this might answer your question if I listened to the two albums. Metallica Ride the Lightning, Metallica Master of Puppets. I have also the CD to the first album, Kill 'Em All, which came before this, and then this one came after this, and then And Justice for All, I have the CD to that, which has one of my favorite Metallica songs, One. And then I have a vinyl record of the Black album from Metallica, so I have definitely explored the words of Metallica. I mean, who hasn't? They are one of the best metal bands out there. In 2024, it was a huge battle between pop star Taylor Swift and heavy metal band Metallica. So, And I think they were in the league, which is weird because they're two very different music wise, very different genres. So, but in terms of recreating, I don't know because they're both, to me, when it comes to guitar anyway, they're both kind of the same structure as each other. But I think when it comes to the band itself, I think Ride the Lightning is a little harder to recreate because that's when they really started. After Kill 'Em All, they started getting noticed. They're like, okay, now we need to put out a new album. So that was their like really saying, hey, we're here now. We are gonna rock. We are gonna give you the best music forever now that we have been noticed. So, and Cliff Burton, one of the best metal bassists I've ever seen. I don't even do bass. I really have no interest in playing bass, but Cliff Burton is one of the hardest to replicate because he basically treated the bass like a normal guitar. So, in fact, let me demonstrate that. So most bass players kind of do like they're just trying to keep with the rhythm. So something as simple as or simple as but Cliff Burton, the original bassist of Metallica, treated it like a normal guitar. Now my guitar sounds like a bass. So he could have just done and this is For Whom the Bell Tolls from the Ride the Lightning album. He could have just, in the beginning, he could have just done and that keeps with the rhythm. But instead you hear the guitar part doing that. And then you hear Cliff Burton taking the lead with his bass. And his bass line is and then live he would take that to another level and really treat it like a guitar. So he really stepped it up a bit for all the other bassists. I he did something different. And here, in fact, I'll play Ride the Lightning, the main riff to Ride the Lightning, and then one of the main riffs to Master of Puppets. So here's Ride the Lightning. And now here's Master of Puppets. So that's a little bit of Metallica for you. But one of the most simple, but one of the best songs from Metallica is off their first album, Kill 'Em All, which is Seek and Destroy. And even their outro riff. So, but Pete, that was a great question, and I really, really respect Metallica as a metal band, and I respect James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett as guitar players a lot. But out of the two, Kirk Hammett. I love his leads. I gotta do a Metallica song. I gotta tell you what I mean. This is Kirk Hammett's Enter Sandman song. If this video is the one that gets me copyright claimed, I just don't care. I'm having so much fun. But we can put this entire back and we'll go to something that I kind of did. So I did something that wasn't supposed to be, but I'm glad I did it. I put in some more questions. How can you put some questions to yourself? Well, these are questions that I've been asked my entire life. And I want to share them with you guys and answer them a little bit. So, there'll be no more guitar players. I can shut this amp off. Because I know I'm keeping you guys a long time. But this is fine, I like doing this. I'm gonna probably do some more of these. But before going further, 45 minutes in, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Tell me what songs and what bands I should know about and do next. I'm hoping to start on the Audioslave stuff real soon, some of the Velvet Revolver stuff, but then expand it to AC/DC, Metallica, Led Zeppelin, Joe Bonamassa, Aerosmith, Queen. I know I was forgetting one Queen, Brian May would be one of the ones I'd like to meet and talk to. But so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can follow me in a little bit. Stalk me when I'm sleeping. But alright, so these are questions. These are a whole bunch of questions that I can easily answer that I wrote down. So how did you find out about Tom Morello and Slash? So in the arcade at Chuck E. Cheese, Guitar Hero was a big thing, and they had so many guys there, so many avatars, but I always picked the most simplest outfit, the most simplest guy. It had just a baseball cap, a shirt that looked like this, some jeans, that was it. And I was him for a long time. So then I got a different kind of Guitar Hero game, but for home, where you could play songs and watch the music video as you're doing it. So that's when I really started. So my dad, before Guitar Hero, before any of that, he had daily been playing a song called Like a Stone by Audioslave, which had Tom Morello. And I didn't know what I was seeing, or I didn't know what I was hearing. I was like 5 years old, but I was intrigued by it. So once the Guitar Hero started, I didn't even know who I was being. And then Guitar Hero that I got from my house, I started learning about Rage Against the Machine. That's where I really started learning about Tom Morello. And I'm like, oh, that's the same guy as Like a Stone, right? He's like, yep, this is the band he was in before Audioslave. So one time I was doing the Guerrilla Radio song, and I was looking at his outfit, I'm like, that outfit looks so familiar. And then it dawned on me. I think it's the guy I've been playing at Chuck E. Cheese. So I'm like, next time we go, I gotta figure this out, man. So I went to a staff appreciation thing for my mom at a bowling alley, and she said, okay, we can check out the arcade that was there. It used to be Dover Bowling Arts, Revo Casino, but I was roaming around trying to see what they had, and they had Guitar Hero. I'm like, okay, I gotta figure this out once and for all. Have I been playing it as Tom Morello without even knowing it? Yup, I was being Tom Morello, I didn't even know it. So that was kind of cool, And then Slash came a little later. I remember seeing it. I was one time I was a guy with a top hat, crazy sunglasses, and a whole bunch of hair. So let me take this off the stand. The stand doesn't want to stand no more, but that's fine. So when my dad was like, there's another guitar player I really like. I'm like, who? It's like, have you ever heard of Slash? What kind of name is Slash? Who would name the kid Slash? He's like, oh no, that's just a fake stage name. But, so in the car, we were listening to Guns N' Roses, which I thought the guitar, he's like, listen to the guitar playing on this song, and I'll tell you why after it's done. So I did, and I really enjoyed it. Like I liked that guitar style. And I believe it was Welcome to the Jungle. And my dad at the end says, "That's Slash." Wait, that's Slash from Guns N' Roses? That's Slash? Yup. And look at me today. They're both my number one. So that's how I got to know them both. Um, what is your dream guitar of all time? Tom, anyway, Tom Morello has a guitar. It's an Ibanez brand. It's an ArtStar model, custom made for him as a gift. If you look at it from like a normal view, the left side is black and then the right side is red. And that is what you use for Gorilla Radio. From the moment I saw that till today, if I could have one guitar, that would be it. That's my dream guitar of all time. So, but why did you start this channel in the first place? Well, basically, one day, when I got my mini red Stratocaster from Squire that was given to me from my uncle by marriage, I they're like, we want a video of him playing it. So I played Smells Like Teen Spirit, which they like Nirvana. They love Nirvana, so I played Smells Like Teen Spirit. And she put it on this specific site on Facebook, and she was hoping that Tom Morello would see it and comment on it. And we had checked every moment. I made my mom check every moment that we had, because that would have been super cool. Let me tell you something. He did. The one and only Tom Morello commented on there, and he wanted to do a private chat with my aunt, but didn't really know how to do that, so that really didn't go through well. But he told me that he really enjoyed it, and that was like a godsend, you know. So then I was thinking, what if I played some of his own stuff? That would be super cool, but I would need something big and extraordinary to do it. So I got my phone, and I'm like, I can make this work. I just need a phone stand. Well, for Christmas one year, I got a phone stand. And I'm like, okay, I can do this now. So this is really a vehicle in hopes that Tom Morello and Slash will see this and contact me. But it's also very much a simple, I like playing guitar for people. And this is just one good way of doing it, you know. And that's the main reason why I started this. So, but and speaking of Morel, there's another instance where he had on Facebook guitar pictures of the day, and he had just a bunch of pictures of his guitar. So my Grammy then commented on that, and she said, "My grandson adores you and your guitar playing. You're his hero. You're his idol. You're his everything." Tell him, you know, he's got autism, but that don't stop him from doing what he loves. And she's like, if you can, get in touch with him. And then he had posted on Facebook again. I don't have Facebook, but my mom does. He posted something again, which was a happy birthday to Slash. And obviously, I asked my mom, if she could say happy birthday for me. So we did, and he commented back. The actual Tom commented again. I don't know if he knew it was the same person, but he commented, and he commented on both, and he said, and I'm not kidding about this. I wish I was, but I'm not. Like, this is real. He said, thank you so much for supporting me. He's like, I really, I'm glad to hear that he likes me and my music and my guitar playing. He's like, I really appreciate that and hold that to the heart. He's like, I hope we can contact soon because I would love to talk with him and perhaps meet him. So we didn't get to do that because, again, we just don't know how that's going to happen. But I appreciate that he noticed me. So I hope he one day sees this, and I hope Flash does too. So, next question. How does your guitar playing affect your autism? So, I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to communicate through the spoken word. Sometimes I just don't know what to say or how to say it. But once I have that guitar in my hand, it becomes my vehicle for communication. It makes me think differently about the world. So that's really how it affects it. What were you? What are two of your most favorite guitar brands of all time? Gibson and Fender. And when I say those, Gibson includes Gibson, Epiphone, and then maybe Kramer, but not really. So just Gibson and Epiphone, and then Fender includes Fender and Squire. So, but those are my two top heavy guitar brands ever. I mean, I've played Fenders and I've played Epiphones. I've played a Gibson once, and they just both brands are just really good guitars, really good guitar brands. So, what were you trying to get out of this channel when you were creating it? So that's very much like the same, like the first one about the channel, but I'm gonna actually ask this. What was going through my mind when I was posting my first videos? I was thinking, nobody's gonna see these. This is a bad idea. No one's gonna, Tom/are gonna see this. But I did it anyway because you don't know unless you try. So hopefully in the future they say something and we get in contact. So that was really what was going through my mind. What I was getting out of the channel was people to see, you know, people, famous guitar players and stuff. So, uh, would you quit any job to go work in a place like Guitar Center? Heck yeah, I would. One of my dreams jobs is Guitar Center. I've already created a resume and a cover letter specifically for that job. So I really hope that one day I can do it. So, what band are you trying to get together right now? My Reagan Gates Rage Against the Machine cover band. Which, by the way, is the reason why I had that kill switch installed, because it's going to make solos a lot easier live, with that kill switch. So I'm definitely glad I got that installed. What is the story behind the name The Guitar King? Excuse me. In the early days, I'm just like, oh, I'm the king of guitars. I'm the guitar king. I just called myself that for some reason. I just started I can't remember when I did it, but so I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna have a YouTube channel, it's gonna be with that name because that's my name. That's something I've given myself a long time ago. I want to have that name. So, who would you say are some honorable mentions when it comes to other YouTube channels? So, obviously Tom Morello official and Slash official are the two biggest ones that I follow. I follow Guitar Center, Gibson, Epiphone, Fender, Sweetwater, um, but some other honorable mentions. I follow a guy named Mike Svensson who does all Tom Morello covers, and he's better than me. And I talked to him a little bit, so he's a cool guy, and you guys gotta check him out. But also check out Nico Slash, Niko Slash, and he does everything Slash. So I have the real Tom Morello, the real Slash, and then the biggest Tom Morello fan, and then the biggest Slash fan. So some of the others that aren't really guitar players, I follow Julie's Cool Shirts, which is two people with different disabilities. One person, Derek and Julie Tennant are siblings, and Derek has something in his brain which basically paralyzes his whole left side, and then Julie has Down syndrome. And then I opened for him when he came to my school one day. I opened it with an autism presentation because it was National Autism Month. So that's how we met. So I definitely recommend checking their show out, the 321 Shirt Show, live every day at 3:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, but yeah, I guess those are some honorable mentions. And then, what is your favorite song, if any? Interstate 80 by Tom Morello and Slash. Why? Because it's got Tom Morello and Slash. And I loved when they did it live. The two times that they've done it live, they're just better than the recording, in my opinion. So, but, and then one more thing. What are my plans for National Guitar Month this year? Well, because it's the month of May, and I'm hoping that each day of the month I do something special on here, which is talk about a famous guitar player and maybe like 5 of their most iconic guitars or something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure something out for a guitar month, but we'll I guess we'll hit that bridge when we get there. So, but anyways, I know this is an hour long, and I appreciate you guys for staying on. Again, please make sure to like, subscribe, and please comment. I love feedback. Good, bad, I don't care. Just talk to me, and I hope to talk to you as well. So anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. So next up will be some of the audio slave stuff, some of the developer stuff, and then more different stuff. So that's it, guys. Peace out. The Guitar King over and out. Rock and roll.